I'm going to start, and whenever the sound happens back there, it happens. How's that? So we are going to start world religions and cults. And you can do the semantics that a cult may be different than a religion in some cases. I put them together, and we'll just go through them. And the first one that we're going to start with is the Charismatic movement. So one of the things that's interesting, we went through a long study on why we believe what we believe, and that's important. It's important to understand why we believe what we believe as Christians, as Baptists, and not within the line of what Scott thinks or Pastor Andrew thinks or what somebody's opinion is, but going into the Word of God and finding out what it teaches, and then applying that to our lives and living by that. So when you have that basis and you understand, I believe this, whether it be baptism, salvation by grace through faith, what the New Testament church is. We were at a concert last night, a Christian concert, and a guy got in his auditorium full of people, and he gets up and he says, and he addresses all these people as church, and it just burns me because it's like, this is not the church. The church is the bride of Christ. You have no idea who's in this congregation. The church are people that are born again, baptized believers serving Jesus Christ. It's different than being saved. That's the family of God. So understanding why the bride of Christ, the church is so important. The Bible refers to the bride as a chaste virgin it's set apart for Jesus Christ. The church is espoused to him. We are his bride. And understanding the basics is when you start to talk to someone that comes out of one of these religions that we're going to talk about over the next several weeks, it gives you an avenue to be able to witness to them. And here's the thing about the one thing that should like set off, the sirens in your head. World religions and cults have one thing in common. They will diminish the work of Christ and exalt the work of man, especially in salvation. They'll teach works for salvation. They'll teach free will as far as you can lose your salvation. And all these things are works that are done by the Godhead, and they try to diminish the works of God and lift up the works of man. You know what? It goes all the way back to the very beginning when Adam and Eve decided to disobey God and listen to Satan. They put their own will before what God had told them to do. And then the Ten Commandments, first one, thou shalt have no other gods before me. So nothing's changed, and that's what these religions are based on. You'll see people on television. I've heard some of these guys preach really good sermons, and they may sound really good, but you need to dig in to see what their foundation is. I might even agree with some of the things they say, but the issue is not whether hey, he preached a good sermon on that day. The issue is he consistent in the Word of God? So the Charismatic movement's an interesting one, and it's an umbrella, and here are some of the religions that are under this umbrella, and you've probably heard some of these names. Pentecostal.
Yes.
Holiness. Church of God, Assembly of God, the Full Gospel Church. They all have their own little nuances,